and thank you for tuning into another episode of the Something Else podcast. Of course, my name is Gabriella, and this is my guest.
Hi guys, I'm Abby.
And today we're talking about finding God for yourself. This is going to be a good one. But before we get into that, of course, I have to do the affirmation for the week. These are from Intelligent Change, by the way.
Big shout out.
Every day I am learning and growing.
That's good for this. That's perfect for this topic.
That's what happened in my last episode.
Yes.
But so this topic is kind of hard to digest because it's like everyone is on their own personal journey. But me and you both were like raised in church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like as far as I can remember, like Sunday school,
all your life,
vacation Bible school, Friday nights, prayer meetings, Sunday mornings, Sunday nights. When you think about it, it's like really like
every single day is something for
like
church.
literally,
right.
Like you're
schooled in church. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I think now that we've kind of gotten older,
right,
and even have grown, I think other people can relate to this too. It's like you're at a place where you kind of have to like find your own footing.
Right. Find yourself with God.
Yeah.
Not through other people.
That's a big one.
Right.
Like when you are growing up and your parents are taking you to church and they kind of are like, just immersing you in everything. It's almost as if your identity like
it's through them. You don't have your own identity. That's what it is. Yeah. You don't have your own identity.
You don't. And then when you go out on your own, you realize like, wait a minute,
what's
like,
going on?
Like,
what do I do?
Am I supposed to be going on a Sunday?
Right.
And then I feel bad if I don't go on a Tuesday.
Because you're at that point where you can make that decision.
Yeah.
And then you either feel bad for it or you don't. Like
that's really what it is.
Yeah.
I think so me and Abby both went to the same church for a long time.
Yes.
Wait, were your parents like pastors before they got to our church?
They were youth ministers, but they weren't ordained yet. Yeah,
okay.
They weren't ordained yet.
So we went to the same church for a long time, and seeing Abby like since she was young, I don't even know how old I was. I know you were like really, really young.
But I wasn't that young. I feel like I was like 8.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah,
you were 8. I remember. Were you wearing glasses? You were wearing glasses.
I was wearing glasses.
Abby was real shy. She was real quiet. And then we ended up leaving the church, and then kind of everyone went their separate ways. And I think there was a moment for me where I was just like, so what do we do now?
Yup.
Did you have that moment?
Oh my gosh, the day I found out was the day before New Year's service, and I was like, what? Like, we're leaving? Like, what's going on? And I mean, I knew things. It's just, dang, you have to start over again.
Yeah.
And it's really hard. I feel like when you're trying to find a church home, like it's so hard to find somewhere to just, this is mine.
Yeah.
And now that I'm older, it wasn't hard before because it's like I didn't know anything. I'm just following my parents.
Yes.
And right now, I'm like, I don't want to get up every Sunday and go find a new church.
Yeah.
Like I think I was doing that not just with them, like I would go and I'm like, I'm not feeling this.
Oh my God, that is so
I'm not, you know what I'm saying? And I took a long break. Like I wouldn't go to any service. They'll ask me to go. I feel like I just had a shutdown moment. And I'm still going through that.
Yeah. No, I can definitely see that. Like as you're telling me, I'm like, that is so me. Like, so of course, whoever knows who don't know. I live on my own. So, there's really no one prompting me to like, oh, hey, like we're going here or going, like you really have to decide what you want to do.
Right.
And what kind of like compelled me to really have this discussion is I think that people get to a point where they're like, okay, so what do I do now? And so me and Abby's mom, Pastor Pender, were talking the other day, and she said something to me. She said, wait, what did she say? Please let it come. She said, once you have an encounter with God, she's like, you can never forget that.
Never.
And I really
very
thought about
true.
it. It is true. Because I'm
very
like,
true.
even when I kind of stayed to myself for a while and I kind of just, not go. I'm like, man.
I do have a question though. I know it's your podcast, but do you remember your first encounter with God?
I do. When was that? Let me see. Let me
I want to hear it because I feel like that's a good thing people can learn from.
Let's take it back.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You want me to say mine first, and you can.
Okay. I need to think.
I know my first real encounter with God was actually not at Thanksgiving through dance. I believe, I don't want to get it wrong, it was probably like 2014, 2015 or something like that. But it was around those years. And I was like shaking to the point where I couldn't dance. Like I think it was time for us to go up and I could not move like out of the chair. Everybody who came around me, woof, woof. Yeah. It was like a big energy, which was obviously God, just around me. And even my dad told me, he was like, I couldn't even touch you because he felt like it was gonna go to him next. Yeah. And Kanai tried to touch me on the floor. So I had that encounter. I forgot who danced, and I was like, I felt that heavily. Like I feel like I needed that. I was at that point. I was in high school or something, and I was like lost. Yeah. You're a PK, pastor's kid if nobody knows what PK is, and it's like you're lost. And I think that was the first time I was like, oh, like this is real.
I'm gonna touch on the PK subject too. Yeah. But to answer your question, I think mine was when there was a speaker at the church. I'm not gonna say his name, but there was a speaker at the church and he was praying for people and he prayed for me, and it's like I was like about to fall on the floor. I said, wait a second. No, not him. Okay. This is another one. Okay. For legal purposes. right. But yeah, I was about to fall on the floor and I was like, what just happened? And I never felt the same after that point or period again. I hope that everyone can experience that.
I really hope everyone can.
Sometimes you go to church, you get in a routine, and hear me out. It's not always going to be that dramatic. Right. Sometimes it's literally something subtle. I think people are expecting the encounter to be rolling on the floor.
It can be just
That's it. It's literally, it could be a change in thought. Yeah. Like, it's not always going to be, I'm like, living in jails. It's not, you're not always going to be falling on the floor and rolling side to side.
I feel like people think that it needs to be excitement
in order for it to be effective, and it's not that. Sometimes it could be depression lifting off you. Right. Or it could be
only person after it's lifted.
Addiction breaking off of you. It could be something so subtle. But that was my encounter, and that you can't really forget that, because even when
I'll never forget it.
Even when I strayed too far, I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. But I would say, I think we're a little bit different, because when you're a PK, like, you're under the microscope.
You're like everybody's eyes. It's ridiculous.
It's different from, like, I would say, like, it's different from when your parents hold, like, different positions.
Right.
But when you're, like, a PK, it's like, they're there. Yeah. Like, did people in school notice that you were a PK, or not really?
No, unless I said it. Like in high school, people can tell I was different. I mean, I went to a private school all my life until high school, and people can tell I was different. They're like, I was the girl rocking Sperry's and like,
Sperry's.
Yeah, Sperry's girl. Like,
she said we go.
But I did. That's where I'm saying I did lose, which comes into that identity thing. Yeah. I lost my identity, and I'm still trying to find it. I really am, but I definitely lost my identity in high school because I was trying to fit in where I know God never placed me. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
I can see that. Yes. I can see that, because I think most people, everyone's experience is different, but high school is like such a grooming time.
Right.
Like you really,
like a big art.
Yeah. Like you really begin to kind of like shape who you really are, and then I feel like everything that precedes that is kind of like a reflection of what happened like during those years. So that's like a point where even me, when I was in high school, I was like, I didn't know what was happening. Right. You think I was bald now? I was bald. It was a whole lot of. But even that experience really taught me about myself. I was like, wait a minute, I'm rooted in other people's identity, but in reality, when you're by yourself, when you have nobody, you only have you. So what are you gonna do? Right. What are you gonna decide to do? But back to what you said as far as finding your identity, and you're still trying to find it, like even in the kingdom and stuff like that. It's like really always an evolving journey.
It is. And
I think people are like, oh, okay, well, I found who I am, just that, and just it. Like it's constant. It's
very much constant, and I feel like I try, and everybody around you will say things. I feel like you hear it so much, like, Abigail, you're this, and you can do this, you can do so much, and I feel like I downplay it so much because everybody has what they called, what do they call them? Everybody has something they can bring to the kingdom, right? Into church.
Like a gift.
A gift. Everybody has a gift. Everybody has more than one gift. And I'm that person who has multiple gifts. I will admit it. Like, I have multiple gifts that I can bring to the kingdom, and I try to downplay it so much. And God isn't like that. Like, we all know God does not want anybody to hide their gift in the kingdom at all. You have a gift for a reason. I feel like people need to know that. Like, if you know how to, let's say, if you know how to sing, go sing in church. If you know how to dance, go dance in church. I feel like everybody just loses their way or try to hide it. Like, they don't need to do it for church. You get what I'm saying?
I think that people can hide their gifts because they kind of want to fit in.
That's what it is. That's what I did. I definitely did that.
Like, they don't want to seem odd or strange or like it's
was that you? Like, I know that was me.
I never okay, so
go ahead.
Which is crazy because people would always call me to speak or do speeches and stuff like that. And I'm like, no. But look at me now with a podcast because it's just like I just couldn't avoid it.
Okay.
It followed me and chased me down. But it's like you can't avoid it.
No, you can't. It's gonna come to you one way or another, and I feel like I'm at that point where it's trying to get me. Like I stopped. I mean, I'm stuck. I'm still stuck. Like I'm trying to find my way back to the kingdom. It's hard. It's really hard, and I'm trying to come out of the worldly like doings and how my mindset is. You know, we're young. Like, if you don't know, I'm 21. Like, I'm at that point where it's like, do I step into the worldly things or do I stay in the kingdom? Yeah. And it's not like where people get it wrong is they think being in the kingdom there is no fun. And I feel like that's where a lot, we can't even touch on that much, but that's a huge one. Like, I feel like people put in, that's why you need to know God for yourself.
That's a big one.
Know God for yourself, because people can put things in your head. Go read the word for yourself. Talk to him for yourself, because nobody can tell you what you cannot do. Only he can. Okay? But yeah. That's a big one. Yeah. Like,
it comes at a point where you just like, and I'm just going to say this. Like, I think a lot of the reason why people repel themselves from developing a relationship with God and maybe going into church because they feel like, oh, I'm not perfect.
Can't do any wrong.
You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing. That's really what it is. Like, no one is ever going to be perfect. You're never going to find the perfect moment. You're never going to be all the way straight on the straight and narrow.
Right.
If you're waiting until you're on the straight and narrow to decide, hey, you know, I want to improve myself or I want to get closer to you're going to be waiting a little minute. You might get to 80 and then you're like, okay, well, maybe now.
You might not even make it that far.
Like, we're just being real here.
Right.
That's just a real thing.
Right.
Because even me, sometimes I've had times where I'm doing good. I'm doing my devotion. I'm doing good. And I get a text. Yeah. I'm going. It's a sneaky link. But
and it hits you.
It's like, wait a minute, what am I doing?
Like, you either do it and then you're like, oh no, like, you gotta
put things back in
yourself.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, well, I'm trying to get myself back together again. Yes. I'm sorry, God, but here we go. But it's like one of those things where it's a constant.
Right.
You have to check yourself.
Yes, and then that's that thing how you just said that. I think because people think when you become a believer, everything is going to be great.
Peachy.
That is, once you say those words and you put Christ in your heart, that's where the roller coaster begins. Mm-hmm. Because now you're living to make this person like proud. You're living through him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You can't do certain things, and that's why it hits us, because we're doing that and he's literally living inside us, and mm-hmm. he's disgusted. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, we're going to smoke weed, disgusted, or you're going to.
I never thought about it that way.
That's how I think about it now. It's like, dang, like, this is really like. It only hits you when you say those words, when you let Christ into your heart. You'll see. I feel like you'll see, because it hits you right then and there. That's a whole roller coaster, because when you don't know Christ, it's way easier to live. If you don't know him, think about it. If you don't know Christ at all, you can live within the world freely. I don't know who he is. Nobody's told me about Jesus before. You never had that opportunity. But once you have the opportunity to know Christ, it's like you had that choice to either accept him or deny him.
It's crazy that you even said that, because I never even thought about it like that at all.
Right.
Like, I was just doing my own thing, and I was like, okay, God, here I am, forgive me. But it's really not like that. Like,
he's
you said
there.
Literally there, and I'm just like,
yes,
we're going back to his house again.
Exactly.
Cash there.
Exactly. And
but
it's scary, because I just want to say that part. It's scary because when you throw that in his face, because I came to that point where I don't care. I'm gonna do what I want to do.
It could become
scary,
like that.
But it does become like that. I'm not gonna lie. It becomes like that. Like, and you're throwing that in his face. I'm like, yo, when you sit down and think about it, when like I did, it's like, this man rules heaven and earth, bro.
But you checked yourself.
Right.
But you checked yourself. And then, you know, the thing is, when we do these crazy things, he'd be like, okay. And then when you get hurt, you're going to be mad. Okay?
He gives us a choice.
And then when your blessings is delayed, you're going to be even madder. You're going to be upset. And you're here like, please, God, please help me. Exactly. The process. And it's like, wait a second. You're not doing what I've asked you to do. You know what I mean? And I mean, like, that goes back to kind of like what we said. Like, when you run from your purpose, when you are denying your gifts, I feel like life just becomes so much harder.
It does.
Some people have certain talents that they have, and they deny their talents. Oh no, I'm just gonna do this. They deny the giftings that they have, and then life is so hard.
Very. Like, it doesn't, and I just want people to understand, it doesn't have to necessarily mean like a gift in church. You can be great at math.
Literally.
And you know you're supposed to be doing something in that nature, and you decide to go left and do something else, and you wonder why it's so hard for you to succeed in that field. You know that's not your field. God never put you in that place. Go do what God wanted you to do.
That's really what it is. Right. Like, sometimes, and that can relate to sometimes when something is not meant for you, you will notice that anything that you do, anything that you try, it will not come into your hand easily. Like, it will repel itself from you. Like, you'll feel like you have to. And I understand that can be confusing, because some people are like, oh, should I give up or should I keep going?
Right. But the journey is hard. It's not a straight road. It's
that journey when you are trying to go after something that is not for you. It's like you're on Mount Everest and you're in Hurricane Andrew, and there's a tsunami and there's hail hitting you in your eyeballs, in the cornea. Like, it will never be easy.
And then that's when people don't realize that's the devil trying to get you off track.
They don't see that though.
They don't see that though.
It's just a detour.
Yeah, it's just like, he's waiting for you to just be like, oh, I'm gonna quit. But no, go through the storm. And I have to learn that myself. Like, I'm talking about this and I'm like, go through the storm, Abby. That's all you have to do.
And when you go through that storm, make sure you got your raincoat.
Get everything.
Make sure you got your umbrella. Make sure you got your goggles. But even through the storm, he said, why are y'all scared?
Right.
He was in the boat sleeping.
Right. Oh.
Y'all gonna have to hit me with the rag, with the church rag. He was in the boat sleeping.
That was good.
Said, y'all scared. And he rebuked the storm. And the waters just went
calm. Okay.
And
that was good.
Listen. But you see, that's the Pentecostal. But yeah, like seriously, for anybody who's like on your journey, like who's confused or who's just trying to like find themselves, like
I want to say just wait, keep that in mind, but I just want to say like find yourself through him. Like I really plead like people can just find yourself through God, because that's literally gonna be your best friend. Literally your best friend. Like God, like there's nobody else around, you're alone in that room, it's gonna hit you.
Ooh, let me.
Okay, I don't even want to.
I'm gonna have to come back to that. But let me just tell this, because this recently happened. I was going through a lot. I was going through a lot mentally. I felt like I was under a mental stress. And, you know, I was like, yeah, please help me. You know I need help. I need to work on myself. I need to get better. I need to heal. I need to be whole. And I felt like I was like, okay. Okay. I hear you, but that's all I'm doing is I'm not here and I'm not acting. I said, wait a second. Okay, let me try a little more. I'm going to get a little louder so you can hear me. Our Father, is that how you want me to start it off? And I just really felt like my prayers wasn't being heard.
Like he was not listening to you, right?
I felt like there were some things in my life that we needed to figure it out, or we needed to figure it out. And I was just like, what can I do to like make God hear me?
Right.
And
and the thing is, he hears us.
He does, but for this specific thing, I was like, okay, in order to get things back, get my mind regulated, get my wholeness back together, I'm gonna have to go on a fast. And I don't fast.
Ooh, I've done that.
I don't fast.
Lord forgive me.
I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna tell you, I'm like, I'm gonna lose weight. I'll fast from TV, or I'll fast from social media.
Right, that's real fast.
Like, but this time I felt compelled to do 3 days, only water, no food. I'm telling you, it was like, and at one point, I was like, I do not need to fast. I'm good, God. Thank you, though.
Yeah.
And then a few days before I was going to start the fast, I had another moment where I was like, okay, I do need to fast. And those 3 days, I didn't drink, I only drank water.
Right.
I didn't eat no food. There was a time where this guy at my job walked by with some pasta.
Ooh, it smelled good.
And the garlic rolls. And when I tell you that smell went up my nostril and knocked on my hypothalamus and smelled the sensory gland over here. I said, wait a minute, what am I doing? But
stick it through.
Like sticking it through that moment, there was one day I was so weak and I was just like doing my devotion. And I was like, I need you to help me because I'm trying to do this. And you know why I'm doing it, but like even my mind, I felt my whole body, my whole mental just get whoosh.
Yeah.
Let's focus.
Yes.
Let's come back. Let's reset it. And even though all things are not perfect,
right,
but now I feel like I have a different level of grace for it to just to be like, it is what it is, and it happened, and I forgive myself and I forgive whoever.
Know what to do.
We do know what to do.
We're just looking for him to say it. And that's when he that's why I wanted to say he hears you. It's just like sometimes you know what to do.
You do know what to do, but I was not going to get enough food.
Right.
I was like, I am not losing weight. I work too hard. I'm 126 now.
Right.
Not going away from it. But it's literally like one moment I felt like a voice told me, oh, you're not desperate enough. Go on. I said, oh, okay.
Yikes.
Is that what I got to do? Sometimes that's what you need to do. Like, I feel like sometimes we think we can do all things, we can be all things, but sometimes you just have to, I really need your help, Lord.
Right.
Put me back together again. And I'm going to
make me whole again.
That's it. Like, Oh my gosh.
What's that song? Make me over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bree sings that song.
Yes.
Come on, Go-Go's. But yeah, just to say that, to encourage somebody who's watching this or who's listening to this, like, no journey is straight, but like, just keep going.
Keep going.
Like, keep going. Keep encouraging yourself. And it doesn't have to be a big change overnight, but an effort.
Right. Little things every day.
Little things. It does change.
Yes, it's a progress. It is really a progress.
It's like, you know, every single day is just like a learning experience. Mm-hmm. Like, some days you might be ahead, one day you might slide back.
Right.
You gotta
keep pushing.
If at first you don't succeed, you have to like pick and dust yourself off and
try again.
Whatever she done said.
Yeah.
But that's really what it is.
Yes, it is. It definitely is.
Okay, we just gave y'all a free session. We're not even going to charge you for the counseling, because that right there, that was about
Abby and Gabby.
That was about $200 each.
Okay.
But we're not going to charge you. But
it's the work of the Lord.
Of course. And even now. But you know what to do.
Yes.
Like, comment, subscribe. You can find us at the Something Else Podcast on Instagram. Yes. Still working on the other socials. Would you like to share your socials?
Oh, we don't have to. I mean, yeah. No, you guys can follow me at Abby Aaliyah, 2 A's on the Aaliyah.
And there you have it, folks. We will talk to you later.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.